alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh once again. Let us continue from where we ended. So you have happened to see the meaning of Ithman Ghayy in the previous video. So let us happen to see the evil way of the evil way to fulfill the sexual urge as per the Quranic teaching. So in the book Bahle al-Jitami, the above ayat is explained as follows. One must not even go near fornication, for it is a lowly act. It is a very dirty action and leads to astray. So the Quran, the Quran clearly represents that it shows the disadvantage of fornication. That fornication is an act which lowers people's dignity, and it is a very dirty act. So the seriousness of this sin is mentioned in the Quran as evidence from this ayat, which says that it is an indecent and an evil way. So that is Surah Al-Isra chapter 17 verse 32. So all this clearly shows the bad thing which is in fornication. So the bad thing which is in fornication. So these words clarify the Islamic point of view, which opposes all types of indecence and carnal desires. So this ayat shows that Islam opposes all types of indecent behavior or indecent behavior when it comes to sexual desires. It shows that adultery is an indecent act and the evil way of satisfying the sexual urge. Because we have said, how does fornication come about? Fornication will come about in a way whereby you are a married man, but you are having another wife whom you are you are not legally married, but you're having sexual affairs. So Islam shows a disadvantage. Imagine you are married, because one of the reasons why you might having sexual intercourse with the ladies you have married. So you have married well and good. You should have affairs with your wife, halal, and Allah subhanahu allowed that. But for you have gone to do that, even waiting for the person. If you want to have an affair with this person, bring this person in a halal way. So the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the sexual urge for continuation for the human race. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the sexual urge for continuation of the human race. Why? Whenever you happen going for sexual affairs, that there is production for those who don't use family planning and so on, that's a long story. That sperms are being released, so these sperms they meet with the ovum, then the ovum produce it. A child is being produced out of. So that's why Allah created sex. He created sex for the continuation of human race. Because hadn't sex taken place, even we couldn't have been around. It's because our parents had sex at least that we came into existence. He also created a feeling of love and physical attraction between man and woman. It's Allah that created that love and physical attraction between man and woman. If this sexual urge is satisfied in a disciplined manner, the human race is assured of peace and prosperity. It must be remembered that fornication contaminates the progeny. So it shows that whenever the sexual urge is being done in a clear way or in a halal way, then there is continuation and there is always peace. That there is no contradiction, there is no fighting, there are no sins committed other than Islam will just get rewards. Actually, it is only bad whenever you have sex with a wife or your husband and you are legally married with that person, you get rewards, you get blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even it's medicine, but whenever you commit it in a halal way, instead of medicine, you are injecting poison into your body. So proceed that. But when this evil becomes prevalent in a society, just satisfy the basic basic instincts, it leads to destruction and despair. Whenever fornication is there, so there are instincts and there is destruction of society. You see that also as a result of immoral life, countless people and their children suffer from debilitating, deforming, and incurable diseases. So whenever so here we're seeing that the disadvantages of fornication, that whenever that they're telling us that whenever fornication is there, people suffer from debilitating, deforming, their diseases, they are born without arms. Why? Our subhanahu is annoyed with these people. Huge sums of money are drained from the budget to take care of victims and to find a cure for such diseases. For instance, HIV is being spread, then cancer is being spread. We shall see. But there are very many diseases. So innumerable illegitimate children are born ill and undernourished. So such kids who are produced from fornication, they get a lot of complications. Even the government at times has to spend a lot of money to cater for these people when it comes to countries of the whites. But in Africa, presidents just cater for their well-being. Even some other stuff they don't care. It's NGOs that always take the initiative to cater for such kids. So in the highly competitive world today, man strives to use all his assets to optimal capacity. His efforts are fully concentrated in driving the maximum efficiency from all his inputs so that he can achieve unprecedented progress in a minimum time. So in this world, that we want quick money. So man uses all the resources. He tries always benefit means killing. We have seen such instances. People kill colleagues because they want to get much money in a short period of time. So it is a pity to see him make a wasteland of his most precious possessions, his natural instincts and desires gifted to him by Allah for his happiness and prosperity. So man does all this in most cases to satisfy his body, but at the end of the day, this is a wasteland. Because at the end of the day, you're going to die, you're going to be answerable for every single thing that you did while still on earth. So, like all branches of science, nuclear and medical science, all has made a progress. Vast sums of money are poured into research for discovering new drugs that may save mankind from the scourge of diseases, like especially cancer. We have seen HIV. Actually, HIV. Huge sums of money are being invested to find the cure of HIV. Yet the number of people suffering from debilitating maladies resulting from immoral conduct are ever on the increase. So whenever there's, for instance, fornication, at times people tend to lose their consciousness, because at times girls are being impregnated. For instance, in the situation whereby the girl is being impregnated unknowingly, she has had enough with the man. The man has denied the pregnancy. This lady is asking herself where to go. You understand? So there's a lot of contradiction and so at times these people, they tend to go mad, to fall mad, depression. So the government invests a lot of money. Money is being invested to look for the cure of HIV and other diseases that come up as a result of fornication and immoral behavior. Every country makes ambitious plans to achieve progress and prosperity, but all these development plans come to a naught as millions of illicit children are born, posing a challenge in the economy of even the most affluent countries. For the poor and developed countries, the results are disastrous. So, for the developed countries, for them, they invest a lot of money in catering for these kids. That at times these kids are being, for instance, the man has impregnated a woman, then the man denies a pregnancy. So this lady has to work hard to find something needed for this kid. You understand? So at the end of the day, in the process of getting something to eat, when the mother gives when the mother gives birth to this kid, at times these mothers, at times they die in the due process of giving birth. Others they throw these kids, they disown these kids. So these are the kids that you find on the streets. So the government spends a lot of money. In developed countries, even in Uganda, I heard of recently, has just started. The government is trying to spend some bit of money to get some money that will cater for such kids. Actually, most of the such kids they come up as a result of fornication and illegal sex. So not only the uncared children are drained to the country's economy, they even pose a law and order problem as they grow up uneducated in a condition of abject poverty and crime. So these kids, they happen not to grow with their kids, not with their parents. So at times he goes under the care of the father or the care of the mother. At times the mother is very busy, the father is very busy. So at times even they fail to raise the money to cater for this kid. So this kid grows up, that this kid is having a lot of freedom. Nobody is there to cater for this kid. So these kids are they end up moving to streets, joining gangs. Then they cause immorality, the theft you hear about, the abuse of drugs in the country, and so on. So it says Dr. Mwalin Njore, who practices in North London, writes in his article that every year he says that 50,000 abortions of illicit children are carried out in London. One child out of every 20 newborns is illegitimate. That is just that most of the kids, when it comes to London, they are telling us that people carry out abortions, over 50,000 abortions, because when this girl happens to have a sexual affair with a boy, at times they may notice that they have impregnated the girl. When the girl happens to know, or the lady happens to know that this child is going to be from unlawful ways, that the husband might know, he might abort. When it comes to the girls who are still under the care of their parents, in fear of their parents, they end up aborting. So the Daily Italat, that's number 1414, writes that in 1957, America had illegitimate children numbering over 2,001,700. So to 20 million, that is around that's over 2 million. There have been five-fold increase in the next. There have been five-fold increase in the next 20 years. This year, unmarried pregnant women numbered to 2,000, 4,000. So that it numbered to 24,000. That women who are animal that this year that the unmarried pregnant women numbered 24,000. That in that year when they made the research of this, that by then women who were pregnant but not married, they were totaling to 24,000. So that is a big number. This what does it show? This one, it shows the high rate of fornication and adultery that takes place in the world, and this one it shows in America. So it is astonishing. It's astonishing and pathetic that majority of them are less than 18 years of age. And unfortunately, all this is happening, but unfortunately, most of the number they are less than 18 years of age. In Paris, so what does this mean? That these are young girls. They are not mature ladies, but they are young girls. When it goes to as far as education, by the age of 18 or below 18, this kid is still in school. So you can imagine getting married or getting pregnant when you are still in school. You are not legally married. So it's kind of a bit disturbing, astonishing, and pathetic. So in Paris, of that total of 43,515 newborn children, 4,145 are illegitimate in the Soviet Union. In the Soviet Union, that is Russia. Every year, 17,000 illegitimate children are born. Also, all these numbers are trying to show that there are huge numbers of children who are born out of fornication. Illegitimate, that doesn't mean that the child is being born but the mother doesn't have the father. It means that he has a father but they're not legally married. Or they got that this child came as a mistake. They met somewhere in a party, they had sexual intercourse, the man moved other ways, even the lady moved other ways. So we have seen, so under this we have happened to see, we have seen the disadvantages of sexual intercourse. Then we have also happened to see You have also been the evil way to fulfill sexual urge, and that is fornication, which is totally prohibited in Islam. After having seen the disadvantages of what we have seen, I call upon you that let us try as much as possible to give birth to children who are legitimate, not illegitimate. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.